Welcome to our third session on choices for presenters when using microphones, especially when we're using Zoom, or what I call Microphones 102. Today we're going to explore the choices that confront anyone that's a communicator when they're working with video conferencing software choices such as Zoom. Now, we talked about previously in episode 2 the difference between wired and wireless microphones, but there's some other things that we need to think about. Do we work with a microphone stand? If we have a handheld mic, then how does it work? Will we be using a headset mic? Or will we be most comfortable using a lavalier, or what they refer to as a lapel microphone? So let's just explore these topics. And most importantly, we're going to finish off talking about the types of microphones that are available in the XLR format as well as the USB format when we're trying to connect this equipment to our Zoom software. So when we're dealing with fixed microphones, the picture says it all. Now, here's a picture of Pierre Elliott Trudeau Sr. He obviously had a microphone that was installed on a microphone stand, and he chose to take it off, and he went into a handheld format, which clearly worked for him. But notice that now we have a microphone stand that's sort of, well, there's just no other word but distracting. And so remember that when we're dealing with a wired microphone, especially if it's a cardioid such as a Shure SM58, the other one, of course, is here's a Shure SM57, not that different in its appearance from the microphone that's in the picture. But these microphones, they're cardioid, there's no internal circuitry, and so they're analog. Therefore, by definition, you need to project your voice into these devices if you're going to use them. So you do have to worry about things like with the stand adjusting the height. It's strongly recommended that you as a communicator test out the microphone well before the audience arrives, adjust for the height, and especially if you've been introduced by someone else and they're much taller in height than you are, absolutely take control of your environment. I have this always as a theme, and move the microphone down to your height. The audience will wait for you. They really want to hear every word. Now, handheld wired mics have the advantage of they're robust in difficult environments. So it's really clear that in many applications, they still are very, very useful solutions. Having said that, be very, very aware of the distance of the cabling that's involved. What I like to do as a strategy is I like to bring along with me at all times at least 100 extra feet of XLR cable. I'll pull it out of my trunk, I'll connect it to the existing solution that's being offered to me, so I have a lot more cord to work with. I can walk through the entire distance of the stage without being short any cord. I run it behind everyone, including myself, and I bring it back into me. And by doing that, I have the advantage of making sure that no one's stepping on the cord, and I don't trip anyone up with the cord. So that's the clear advantage. So this thing's something to be aware of when you're dealing with a wired microphone. Now let's talk a little bit about an environment such as a studio or your home studio. Of course, here I am, and I'm showing you an illustration of a microphone that you would recognize as being in the studio. And here I am, and I'm going to bring it down now. I have my own microphone, and it's on basically a device that will allow me to move it to where I want it to be, and you'll see these on collapsible lamps that can move around. And so it's really the same sort of idea, only you have a microphone on the end of it. And so there's some choices. Do you want to use an XLR studio grade microphone and attach it to your PC, and that's going to be the tool in which you're going to use the audio sound for your Zoom presentation? Or are you going to use a microphone that attaches directly by USB to your laptop and your software? If you're going to go with the studio approach, you'll notice that in the illustration, there's something holding the microphone, and that's referred to as a cage. Okay, these are very interesting. They allow for a studio grade microphone to fit into it. Now here's an example of a studio grade microphone. Now if I bring it up and I put it, just, I get the right lighting, there it is, you can clearly see that the mesh is very loose, and you can see the circle of the diaphragm that makes up the microphone. And that's why in the studio environment, people really like to have these microphones right up to their voice. And they may have a screen in between so they're not popping peas with the microphone. But these type of microphones are hypersensitive, and some people really like that. They don't like projecting their voice. They like it being very, very, very easy to speak to. And so that's a matter of personal choice. In terms of when you work with these types of microphones, it's appropriate to consider things like putting, as they say, a sock on it. Now you'll notice that the microphone I have has a sock on it. This is the little spongy bulb that is really just an addition onto your microphone. It has the advantage of filtering out any potential for popping sounds to occur in your studio environment. So then there's two types, of course. There's the ones that just sit on top of the microphone itself, but you can have essentially a filter, a screen that is between you and the microphone. You'll even see these in live concert performances. So let's just take a little bit of time to look at the different choices that are available in USB format. So I'm going to start off with this little guy. Again, he's available. He's really, really cheap. You can get this for like $15, $20. It has a USB connector. You're all excited when you get it. And the quality is ho-hum. Now, one of the interesting things about microphones is that there's a lot of microphones that are very inexpensive and may work for a short period of time, but my experience is they just don't stand up over time. And so then you look for other choices, and what you find is really good microphones are available at hideous prices. And there's really nothing in between. It's very frustrating from that perspective. There's no mid-range quality. It's either not so good or it's really good. And so this is in the not so good. If anyone wants one, just send me a message or an email with your address, no charge. I'll just send it to you because it's just sitting in my box of things and I'm not really excited about it. The next one, and I'm an educator, I work in a community college, and their equipment of choice is this device, which is affectionately referred to as a snowball. It is a USB device, and it can connect directly to your computer. It is a speaker microphone solution, and you can use it in the classroom. And everyone in the room can effectively hear what it's doing, and it can pick up anyone talking. Now that's just basic audio, and it's acceptable, and most people are satisfied, but it's not necessarily a studio grade quality device. So there we are as a choice. The next aspect that needs to be put into perspective is that often one has a choice to get a camera, a webcam, and these cameras put out by Logitech are very, very interesting because yes, they're a webcam and they do an excellent job, 1080 DPI, but they also have really quite good quality microphones. So again, in a group setting, I belong to an organization called Toastmasters, and often we have meetings of 20 people, and this device does an excellent job of capturing the video for the group of 20 as well as the audio in quite an exceptional fashion. You can hear every word. Again, is it studio quality? Well, I would say it's not bad. It's not there at the XLR class, but it's not bad at all. But in terms of what is my absolute preference, what do I recommend to people when they ask me, I go for this device. It's called a Jabra. It's very compact. It looks like a speaker. It is readily available on eBay and Amazon. It's in the $100 to $200 range, and it is USB, and it has volume controls, which I really like about it. And it puts you as the user in control for the sensitivity of the speakers and the microphone. And you can mute this device by physically touching it. So if I had to recommend to anyone a microphone that directly works with your laptop, if you're looking for an elegant, simple solution that has better than average quality, this is my suggestion for your consideration as a microphone. So there we have it. Microphones 102. We've got an introduction of really strategies when we're dealing with microphone stands, how you can start to think about putting a home studio level of quality into your home versus what type of devices are out there and how they're available for direct connection by USB. In our next section, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about more about XLR microphones and how can we get these devices connected to our laptop or computer. So I look forward to the next session. You have a great day. There's no question that sound quality is everything.